So they discharged me from the hospital 24 hours later with 3 autoimmune conditions, a carbohydrate counting guide, 2 types of insulin, a blood glucose meter, syringes, and a whole bunch of fear. And they explained to me, they're like, listen, we cannot solve your problems for you. We cannot reverse type 1 diabetes. We cannot reverse hypothyroidism. We cannot reverse alopecia. But what you can do is eat a low carbohydrate diet, because that's what you do when you're living with type 1. That's how you control your blood glucose. So here's this carbohydrate counting guide. Why don't you use this thing? And why don't you keep your carbohydrate count, total carbohydrate intake, to about 100 grams per day? So I was like, all right, here we go. Carbohydrate education 101. So then I had to deep dive to try and figure out, what the heck is this? What are carbs? Where do they come from? And how do I keep it to 100 grams? How do I inject insulin? When? What time of day? How do I control my blood glucose? Why is my glucose going up? Why is it coming down? And it just launched me into this whole universe of giant question marks. And I had very few answers, and I had a whole bunch of questions. So to put a long story short, I ended up doing this low carbohydrate thing for the better part of a year, because I can follow instructions and I'm a coachable person. So you tell me that I need to eat a low carbohydrate diet, fine, I'll do it. So I did that, and I was eating things like turkey burgers and eggs and fish and bacon and cheese. And as I was going through this process, I was just like, why do I feel worse? Like, I felt pretty crappy when I first got diagnosed, but 6 months down the road, 9 months down the road, I was even lower energy. My lifestyle, was leading me down a path of, muscular pain, joint tension, frustration, anxiety. I had to go to a therapist. It just was like my life was spinning out of control. So I switched over to eating a plant-based diet, not because I wanted to, not because I was looking for a plant-based solution, but because somebody had introduced me to a guy named Dr. Doug Graham. Dr. Doug Graham teaches people how to eat an 80-10-10 raw food diet, and I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, all right, whatever, Doug, just tell me. Can you fix me? Can you make me better? He said, yep, 100%. He taught me how to eat a whole food plant-based diet that was predominantly raw. A lot of fruits and a lot of vegetables. And within a very short period of time, I'm talking 24 to 48 hours of eating that way, my glucose became ridiculously manageable. Like, I'm talking about a high blood glucose that would hang out in the 180 to 200 range all day long, every single day. All of a sudden, boom, flatline. Comes down to 60s, 70s, 80s. And I was just having to eat more food in order to keep my blood glucose from going too low. That means I had to inject a lot less insulin. So I would back off and less and less and less and less and less. And then all of a sudden I woke up, a week down the road, and I was like, holy crap, what am I doing with all this energy? This feels incredible. And I was, I was sleeping better, and my anxiety went away. And all of a sudden I was like, geez, this is incredible. It literally felt like I took a wall charger and stuck it into an outlet. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I just got charged up. This is great.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, why not subscribe? Here's a link to do that. And if you'd like to watch the full interview, you can find it at chrisbeatcancer.com. There's a link to it in the description right below this video.